Dear traders, do you think price action is the key to success in trading? Then you are only halfway through. The legendary trader, Mr. Gans said, time is
Center, Subedar Arun Kumar of Bihar Regiment Center and Subedar chairing Galson of Ladakh Scouts Regiment Center. Playing the lilting tune Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja. And now the next contingent, the Mahar Regiment led by Captain Aman Kumar Singh. The motto of the regiment, Yash Siddhi, and the war cry, Bolo Hindustan Ki Jai. The regiment honored with 12 theatre honors, 9 battle honors.
कर्तव्य पथ पर अब जम्मू कश्मीर राइफल्स की टुकड़ी शान से आगे बढ़ रही है। जम्मू कश्मीर राइफल्स की इस जोशीली टुकड़ी का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं जम्मू कश्मीर राइफल्स की 18वीं बटालियन के मेजर विक्रमजीत सिंह। रेजिमेंट का आदर्श वाक्य प्रशस्त रणवीरता, युद्ध घोष दुर्गा माता की जय। मंच के सामने अग्रसर होता हुआ अगला दस्ता 14 गोरखा ट्रेनिंग सेंटर, आर्टिलरी सेंटर नासिक और ईएमई सेंटर भोपाल का कमान सूबेदार मेजर एम चंद्रदास संभाल रहे हैं। साथ दे रहे हैं नायब सूबेदार संता बहादुर गुरंग, नायब सूबेदार धनजी पासवान और नायब सूबेदार रमेश कुमार परिहार। ये दस्ता ध्रुव की सुमधुर धुन बजा रहा है। 73 संगीतकार इसमें शामिल। कर्तव्य पथ पर अगली टुकड़ी यह है कोर ऑफ सिग्नल्स। इसके दस्ते की कमान कैप्टन रेतिका खरेटा के हाथों में है। इस कोर के शूरवीर और समर्पित दस्ते की वो बखूबी कमान संभाल रही हैं। कोर का आदर्श वाक्य तीव्र चौकस, जिसका अर्थ है तेज और चौकन्ना। विशिष्ट दर्शक दीर्घा रोमांचित महसूस करते हुए देश के गणतंत्र दिवस का अनोखा उत्सव कर्तव्य पथ देश प्रेम से सराबोर होता हुआ। कर्तव्य पथ पर अब सलामी मंच के सामने अग्रसर हो रही है पूर्व सैनिकों की झांकी, गर्व से मार्च करते हुए। इस वर्ष की थीम विकसित भारत की ओर सदैव अग्रसर के साथ संरेखित। झांकी में सामने की ओर नौसेना, सेना और वायुसेना के प्रतीक चिन्हों के साथ गौरवशाली पूर्व
Welcome to Delhi. one of India's newest states, one of India's oldest lands.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India celebrates its 77th Republic Day today. EU leaders to witness the grand parade of India's self-reliance and diversity. Vande Mataram's 150 years also resonates. President Murmu lauds the armed forces' success in Operation Sindoor, highlights women-led growth in her address on the eve of Republic Day. On Republic Day Eve, President Murmu also approves gallantry awards to 70 heroes. Ashok Chakra to Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. India is celebrating its 77th Republic Day, showcasing the nation's development journey, rich cultural diversity and growing military strength at Kartavya Path in New Delhi. The celebrations will begin with Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying homage to fallen heroes at the National War Memorial, followed by the grand parade led by President Draupadi Murmu. The President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will be the chief guests this year. The overall theme of the celebrations is 150 years of Vande Mataram, reflecting India's unity and patriotic spirit. Around 100 cultural artists will herald the parade with a musical presentation of unity and diversity, while Mi-17 helicopters shower flower petals along the route. President Murmu will then take the salute as the parade, commanded by Lieutenant General Bhavnish Kumar, gets underway. For the first time, the Army will display a phased battle array format, including aerial elements. Advanced military platforms like T-90 Bhishma tanks, Arjun tanks, Apache and Prachand helicopters, and the Nag missile system will be on display. A major attraction will be a tri-services tableau showcasing replicas of key weapon systems used during Operation Sindoor. The Indian Navy tableau, themed Strong Navy for a Strong Nation, will depict India's maritime legacy and indigenous strength, including INS Vikrant and INSV Karundya. In total, 30 tableaus, 2,500 cultural artists, motorcycle stunts by security forces, and a flypast by 29 aircraft will make the celebrations truly grand. And this Republic Day, India's biggest ceremonial parade, undergoes a historic transformation. For the first time, the Indian Army contingents will march in a combat-ready battle array, while the Indian Air Force flypast will unfold in a phased battle format, mirroring real-time war deployment. Akshay Dongre reports on the Republic Day 2026, and it signals a clear shift from ceremonial display to operational readiness.
On Kartavya Path, the spotlight this year is how India actually fights. The parade reflects a modern battlefield where intelligence, drones, mechanized forces and air power operate in a carefully sequenced combat order. For the first time within Republic Day parade parameters, Indian Army contingents will march in a combat-ready offensive formation, depicting their real-world deployment during warfare. The formation showcases a ready, resilient and responsive Indian Army driven by intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance elements and built to deliver swift offensive action. Mechanized forces supported by aviation assets form the immediate battle-shaping punch. followed by boots on the ground infantry battle groupings, the decisive element in combat.
The array illustrates an offensive led by intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance elements. The mechanized forces with an aerial support aviation component is the immediate combat and battle-shaping punch in this formation that is being depicted.
A key highlight of the Army's display is the newly raised drone and loitering ammunition units, reflecting the growing role of long-range surveillance, precision targeting, and deep strikes. These units are designed to strike targets in depth based on actionable intelligence, supported by indigenous long-range artillery systems, reinforcing India's push towards self-reliance in defense.
Special forces provide the high-risk conventional edge. They'll be on various specialist platforms employing autonomous systems. The vital boots on ground element will be showcased in this battle grouping. Along this also is the long-range surveillance and targeting ability of the newly raised drone and loitering munition units to hit targets in depth on actionable intelligence.
In another first, the Indian Air Force flypast has been redesigned in line with a phased battle array format. Traditionally conducted at the end of the parade, the flypast this year will be held in two blocks, aligned with the IAF's role in the overall battle order, showcasing how air power integrates into a combat scenario. The flypast will feature 29 aircraft, including 16 fighter jets, 4 transport aircraft, and 9 helicopters. The highlight is the Sindoor fighter formation, depicting the IAF's operational role during Operation Sindoor, the 4-day military confrontation with Pakistan earlier this year. From the Rafale Vajrang.
Data science and analytics are not the trends of the future. They're happening right now. So having the skills to work with data is not only valuable, it is essential now as data becomes increasingly important for industries around the world. To help you get these essentials in place, Scalar is conducting a free class for professionals from any background who wish to learn data science and analytics. Whether you're looking to switch to a data-focused career or you just want to learn more about this growing field, this live class is perfect for you. Click on the link below to register.
And Air Force's phased flypast in the sky sends a powerful message. India's armed forces are integrated, intelligence-driven, and mission-ready. Republic Day 2026 is not just a celebration, it is a demonstration of India's evolving warfighting doctrine. In New Delhi, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Luis Santos da Costa, are the chief guests for the Republic Day celebrations today. India and the EU share a partnership rooted in mutual trust and shared values. India's engagement with the EU highlights its strategic focus on Europe, aligned with the upcoming India-EU summit and the ongoing free trade agreement. So as of 2024, over 931,000 Indians reside in the European Union, including more than 16,000 blue card holders. In the past 2 decades, more than 6,000 Indian students received Erasmus Mundus scholarships, highlighting the India-EU mobility and educational ties. The visit of the European Union leaders underscores India's and Government of India's intent to elevate India-EU relations as a core pillar of its global as well as European strategy. Well, India's public broadcaster, Prasar Bharati, is fully prepared for the live coverage of the 77th Republic Day Parade from Kartavya Path in New Delhi on Monday. And the live coverage of this event will be broadcast and telecast across Doordarshan and Akashvani networks. So Doordarshan has made special arrangements for the live telecast, the live streaming as well, of this parade in 4K on the OTT platform Waves. Vishal Barristo has this report.
Information and Broadcasting Secretary Sanjay Jaju visited the Doordarshan control room set up at Kartavya Path to take stock of the preparations. He was accompanied by the Director General of Doordarshan. This time, DD is streaming the entire coverage in 4K resolution on its OTT platform Waves. More than 50 cameras are covering the Republic Day parade on 26th January.
Doordarshan and All India Radio have made elaborate arrangements for ensuring that people from across the country are able to watch the parade right from Kartavya Path. We have made elaborate arrangements, close to about 50 cameras, as well as the entire telecast is going to be 4K, which is going to be also put out on the Waves OTT.
2 well-equipped OB vans have been deployed at the Kartavya Path.
इस बार हम पूरी कवरेज राष्ट्रपति भवन से लेके और कर्तव्य पथ और वॉर मेमोरियल तीनों जगह हमारी 4K सेटअप लगा है और हम लेटेस्ट 4K कवरेज से पूरा कवर कर रहे हैं.
More than 50 cameras have been placed to cover every angle from Rashtrapati Bhavan to the Kartavya Path.
जो भी परेड सामने से आएगी उनके शॉट्स बनाना है, उनके लॉन्ग शॉट्स बनाना है, उनके जो भी एज पर रिक्वायर्ड पैनल से जो रिक्वायरमेंट आती है उस हिसाब से हम लोग यहाँ शॉट देते हैं. तो यहाँ बड़ा अहम रोल होता है.
कर्तव्य पथ का जो जाइजेंटिक जो व्यू है वो इस क्रेन से हम लोग दे रहे हैं. टोटल कंटिजेंट का पासिंग आउट परेड सब यहीं से जो लॉन्ग शॉट जो है मैग्निफिकेशन शॉट इससे मिलता है.
The weather gods have not been very kind this time, but a backup arrangement has been put in place to meet any eventuality.
ये पूरा स्ट्रेच जो है राष्ट्रपति भवन से लेके NWM तक करीब 3.5-4 किलोमीटर का स्ट्रेच होता है. ये पूरा इंटायर कवरेज करने के लिए भी हम लोग जनरली 3 सेटअप लगाते हैं और उन तीनों सेटअप को आपस में कनेक्ट करना होता है क्योंकि 40 से 50 कैमरे 50 प्लस कैमरे लगते हैं. तो उन सबको इंटीग्रेट करके हमें ये कवरेज देना होता है. और फिर ऊपर से जो आप लोग को पता है कि रिहर्सल के टाइम में कितनी बारिश हुई उसको भी हमने ध्यान में रखते हुए हमने कंटीजेंसी अरेंजमेंट किए हैं कि जैसे हमारी कवरेज स्मूथ हो, कोई दिक्कत ना आए.
Doordarshan is the public broadcaster that telecasts the Republic Day event every year. Vishal Baristow's report for DD India.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended greetings to fellow citizens on the occasion of the 77th Republic Day. In a social media post, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "May this occasion add renewed energy and enthusiasm in our collective resolve to build a Viksit Bharat." India's national anthem, Jana Gana Man, and the national song, Vande Mataram, are more than musical compositions. They are symbols of the nation's freedom struggle, unity and identity. As India marks 150 years of Vande Mataram, its legacy continues to inspire generations with patriotism and cultural pride. Here's a report.
The national anthem Jan Gan Man and the national song Vande Mataram are not merely songs, but the very soul of India's freedom movement, which fills the hearts of millions of Indians with the spirit of patriotism. Their verses echoed in every movement, rally and revolutionary struggle during British rule. That is why, after independence, while drafting the constitution, India accorded Jan Gan Man the status of the national anthem and Vande Mataram that of the national song, recognizing them as national symbols. It was on January 24, 1950, India formally accorded the national status to Jan Gan Man and Vande Mataram. While Jan Gan Man symbolizes India's unity and sovereignty, Vande Mataram symbolizes devotion and reverence to the motherland. Both India's national anthem and national song are enduring symbols of Indian culture, unity and the freedom struggle. Both compositions reflect the nation's proud history and national identity. Jan Gan Man was written and composed by Rabindranath Tagore, originally written in the Bengali language, and was adopted as India's national anthem by the Constituent Assembly. Through this composition, Tagore deeply expressed the diversity, unity and sovereignty of Indian society. The national song Vande Mataram was composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. The song was taken from his novel Anandmat and was first published on 7th November 1875 in the literary magazine Banga Darshan. Vande Mataram recently completed 150 years since its creation. To mark the national song's milestone, the government is organizing year-long programs and activities across India, including exhibitions, musical performances, seminars and cultural events. The rich legacy of the national anthem and national song, their cultural diversity and their immense contribution to India's freedom struggle remains eternal. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, the country is celebrating the 77th Republic Day today, and the Chenab Bridge in Jammu and Kashmir's Riyasi district glowed in colors of the national flag. In Ranchi, the Jharkhand Legislative Assembly was bathed in the tricolour lights as part of Republic Day preparations. Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport was decked up in the tricolour illumination in the run-up to Republic Day. On the eve of Republic Day, government buildings in Etawah in Uttar Pradesh were lit up in vibrant tricolour hues. Ayodhya Dham railway station in Uttar Pradesh was adorned with colourful lights, adding to the festive atmosphere of Republic Day. Well, the national capital has been placed on high alert for the 77th Republic Day celebrations. Security has been tightened across Delhi and the national capital region, with police deployed around 10,000 personnel, supported by multi-layered security arrangements. Advanced surveillance tools, including AI-enabled smart glasses and thousands of surveillance cameras, are being used to monitor the city. The Ministry of Tourism will organize Bharat Parv as part of the Republic Day celebrations in front of Red Fort from the 26th to the 31st of January. Bharat Parv is the ministry's flagship annual festival that showcases India's cultural, artistic, culinary and spiritual heritage. The event promotes initiatives such as Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat and also Dekho Apna Desh, while also encouraging domestic tourism, supporting artisans and strengthening national integration. Addressing the nation on the eve of the 77th Republic Day, President Draupadi Murmu hailed the success of the Indian Armed Forces in Operation Sindoor. She also underlined how women are playing a major role in the nation's growth.
On the eve of 77th Republic Day, President Draupadi Murmu addressed the nation. The President said that this year's celebrations will also mark 150 years of national song Vande Mataram.
Since 7th November last year, celebrations marking 150 years of the composition of our national song Vande Mataram are also being organized. This song, which is a prayer to the divine form of Bharat Mata, instills patriotism in every Indian. Vande Mataram, composed by the Venerable Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, is our lyrical national prayer.
Hailing India's defense prowess, President Murmu said that the armed forces completely destroyed terror camps during Operation Sindoor. She added that indigenous weapons helped India achieve historic success in the operation.
Last year, our country launched precision strikes against terror infrastructure through Operation Sindoor. Terror centers were destroyed and many terrorists met their end. Our self-reliance in the field of defense powered the historic success of Operation Sindoor. Based on the strength of the Army, Air Force and Navy, people have complete trust in our defense preparedness.
Saying that national efforts towards female education and economic empowerment have increased, the President touched upon the growing role of women in the nation's development.
The role of Nari Shakti will be crucial in the making of Viksit Bharat. With increasing contribution by women, our country will set an example of an inclusive republic based on gender equality. With an inclusive approach, many schemes are being implemented for the welfare and development of the underprivileged segments.
President Murmu also said that India's digital payment revolution is inspiring the world. Bureau Report, DD India.
The Padma Awards for 2026 have been announced on the eve of Republic Day, honoring excellence and distinguished service across sectors. 131 awards recognizing eminent personalities as well as unsung contributors have been announced. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated all the awardees, calling the honors a tribute to commitment and excellence. Rupak Kumar Jha has the report.
The 2026 Padma awardees, including Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri, have been announced, in keeping with the tradition of unveiling the honours on Republic Day Eve to recognise exceptional public service and achievement. For 2026, President Draupadi Murmu has approved conferment of 131 Padma Awards, recognizing well-known as well as unsung individuals with long-standing contributions in diverse fields such as healthcare, education, livelihood, environment, and cultural preservation. In the Padma Vibhushan Award category, 5 names have been confirmed. This includes popular Bollywood actor Dharmendra Singh Deol, who will be conferred the honour posthumously. He is known for his work in films like Sholay and Dharamveer. Further, the list includes former Kerala Chief Minister V.S. Achyutanandan posthumously, eminent Malayalam journalist P. Narayanan, former Supreme Court Judge K.T. Thomas, and N. Rajam for her contribution in the field of art. For the Padma Bhushan Awards, the list has 13 names, including former Jharkhand CM Shibu Soren, popular singer Alka Yagnik, actor-producer Mammootty, Indian banker and billionaire Uday Kotak, and former governor of Maharashtra Bhagat Singh Koshyari, among others. And finally, the 2026 Padma Shri awardees include star Indian cricketers Rohit Sharma and Harmanpreet Kaur, hockey star Savita Punia, actor Prashanjit Chatterjee, and the duo of Gayatri and Ranjini Balasubramanian, among 108 other known and unsung distinguished individuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the Padma awardees for their outstanding contributions to the nation. PM Modi said that the honour reflects the spirit of commitment and excellence that continues to inspire generations. As India celebrates 77th Republic Day on 26th of January, the celebration of grassroots level heroes strengthens the core of what constitutes India. Rupak Kumar Jha's report for DD India.
And President Draupadi Murmu also approved gallantry awards for 70 armed forces personnel, including 6 posthumous honours on the eve of the 77th Republic Day. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla was awarded the Ashok Chakra, while Kirti Chakras were conferred on Major Arshdeep Singh, Naib Subedar Dholeshwar Subha Singh and Group Captain Prashant Balakrishnan Nair. The President also approved several other gallantry medals, 301 military decorations and 98 mentioned in dispatches for personnel of the Army, Navy, Air Force and Border Roads Organization. The 77th Republic Day celebration, or reception in fact, was held in Dubai, bringing together senior leaders from India and the UAE. The UAE Minister of Foreign Trade, Thani Al Zayudi, attended the reception hosted by the Consulate General of India in Dubai, along with the Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment, Ramdas Athavale, and the Member of Parliament, Shashi Tharoor. The event began with the national anthems of India and the UAE, played by the Dubai Police Band, followed by cultural performances celebrating India's heritage and marking 150 years of Vande Mataram. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go
in the ₹9 workshop that you're providing, what all do you cover?
In 9 rupees, you'll learn how to automate your reports, how to automate your presentation, how you can create entire applications without having any coding knowledge. And not only that, you will be also learning how you can work with AI agents as well. And all of this in just 3 hours. Just imagine.
Wow, that is amazing. But there's so much to learn and you're charging only 9 rupees. People are going to think that's a scam. Is that true, or like how do you go about that?
So you need to understand why do we charge 9 rupees, right? So we want to make it democratized. As many people as possible should be attending it. So I don't want price to be gatekeeping for them in order to like take their first step towards GenAI. So that's why we have kept at ₹9.
Okay, that is great.
The flypast at the Kartavya path starts with the Dhwaj formation. The first would carry the Indian tricolor to be followed by the flags of Army, Navy and Air Force. For the very first time, Indian Army is participating in the Republic Day parade. As you can see, this is the pride of Indian Army, the Apache helicopters. But what kind of preparations are there before they finally make it to the Kartavya path? Watch our special program Rise of Bharat on 26 Jan 8:30 PM only on DD India.
गर फिरदौस बर्रुएज जमी است
76 years ago, India chose not just freedom, but a republic.
India, that is Bharat, shall be a sovereign, democratic republic.
An idea shaped by debate, strengthened by diversity, and guided by the Constitution. From democratic roots to linguistic federalism, from social justice to global leadership. This is India, a voice of the global south, a voice for the world. Watch our Republic Day special, India, Democracy in Motion, on 26 January at these times, only on DD India.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
The flypast at the Kartavya path starts with the Dhwaj formation. The first would carry the Indian tricolor to be followed by the flags of Army, Navy and Air Force. For the very first time, Indian Army is participating in the Republic Day parade. As you can see, this is the pride of Indian Army, the Apache helicopters. But what kind of preparations are there before they finally make it to the Kartavya path? Watch our special program Rise of Bharat on 26 Jan 8:30 PM only on DD India.
6 years ago, India chose not just freedom, but a republic.
India, that is Bharat, shall be a sovereign democratic republic.
An idea shaped by debate, strengthened by diversity, and guided by the Constitution. From democratic roots to linguistic federalism, from social justice to global leadership. This is India, a voice of the global south, a voice for the world. Watch our Republic Day special, India, Democracy in Motion, on 26 January at these times, only on TD India.
Namaskar and welcome. A very happy 77th Republic Day to all Indians. Republic Day marks a defining milestone in India's national journey. It marks the day the Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950, formally establishing the country as a sovereign democratic republic. So while independence on 15th August 1947 ended colonial rule, it was the adoption of the Constitution that completed India's transition to self-governance based on law, institutional accountability and the will of the people of India. The 77th Republic Day celebrations are being organized around the central theme, and that is 150 years of Vande Mataram, a national song. How is the theme being reflected in the celebrations? What is new in the Kartavya Path parade this time around and in people's participation in there? We'll tell you all that and more. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya and with me is my colleague Mark Lip.
Namaskar, Munmun, and happy Republic Day to all of you. Our special coverage here on India's 77th Republic Day. It's a historic day for many reasons. For the first time also, the European Union's top leadership, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the European Council President Antonio Costa, they are joint chief guests highlighting the India-EU strategic partnership, how these ties are growing. The celebrations also, as Munmun was saying, coincide with the 150th anniversary of India's national song, Vande Mataram. So that adds cultural depth to the occasion.
Indeed.
So let's begin our special coverage with the headlines.
India celebrates its 77th Republic Day today. EU leaders to witness a grand parade of India's self-reliance and diversity. Vande Mataram's 150 years also resonate.
President Murmu lauds the armed forces' success in Operation Sindoor, highlights women-led growth in her address on the eve of Republic Day.
On Republic Day Eve, President Murmu approves gallantry awards for 70 heroes. Ashok Chakra to Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
Well, this Republic Day, India's biggest ceremonial parade undergoes a historic transformation. In fact, for the first time, the Indian Army contingents, they are going to march in combat-ready, array. So while the Indian Air Force flypast will unfold in a phased battle format mirroring real-time war deployment. Akshay Dongre reports from Kartavya Path on how there's a clear shift from ceremonial displays to operational readiness.
On Kartavya Path, the spotlight this year is how India actually fights. The parade reflects a modern battlefield where intelligence, drones, mechanized forces and air power operate in a carefully sequenced combat order. For the first time within Republic Day parade parameters, Indian Army contingents will march in a combat-ready offensive formation, depicting their real-world deployment during warfare. The formation showcases a ready, resilient and responsive Indian Army driven by intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance elements and built to deliver swift offensive action. Mechanized forces supported by aviation assets form the immediate battle-shaping punch. followed by boots on the ground infantry battle groupings, the decisive element in combat.
The array illustrates an offensive led by intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance elements. The mechanized forces with an aerial support aviation component is the immediate combat and battle-shaping punch in this formation that is being depicted.
A key highlight of the Army's display is the newly raised drone and loitering ammunition units, reflecting the growing role of long-range surveillance, precision targeting, and deep strikes. These units are designed to strike targets in depth based on actionable intelligence, supported by indigenous long-range artillery systems, reinforcing India's push towards self-reliance in defense.
Special forces provide the high-risk conventional edge. They'll be on various specialist platforms employing autonomous systems. The vital boots on ground element will be showcased in this battle grouping. Along this also is the long-range surveillance and targeting ability of the newly raised drone and loitering munition units to hit targets in depth on actionable intelligence.
In another first, the Indian Air Force flypast has been redesigned in line with a phased battle array format. Traditionally conducted at the end of the parade, the flypast this year will be held in two blocks, aligned with the IAF's role in the overall battle order, showcasing how air power integrates into a combat scenario. The flypast will feature 29 aircraft, including 16 fighter jets, 4 transport aircraft, and 9 helicopters. The highlight is the Sindoor fighter formation, depicting the IAF's operational role during Operation Sindoor, the 4-day military confrontation with Pakistan earlier this year. From the Rafale Vajrang formation to maritime surveillance aircraft, heavy transport platforms, and attack helicopters, the display presents the full spectrum of air dominance.
परेड का आगाज़ Mi-17 अपाचे हेलीकॉप्टर से होगा। परेड के आखिरी चरण तक इंडियन एयरफोर्स, इंडियन नेवी और इंडियन आर्मी के 29 एयरक्राफ्ट आपको दिखाई देंगे, जिसमें 16 फाइटर और 4 ट्रांसपोर्ट और स्पेशल जहाज और 8 हेलीकॉप्टर। ये सब 8 अलग-अलग फॉर्मेशन में फ्लाई करके जाएंगे।
Together, the Army's combat-ready battle array on the ground and Air Force's phased flypast in the sky sends a powerful message. India's armed forces are integrated, intelligence-driven, and mission-ready. Republic Day 2026 is not just a celebration, it is a demonstration of India's evolving war-fighting doctrine. In New Delhi, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
So all that is new in this Republic Day as far as Kartavya Path Parade is concerned. Also, addressing the nation on the eve of the 77th Republic Day, President of India, Draupadi Murmu, hailed the success of the Indian Armed Forces who participated in Operation Sindoor. She also underlined how women are playing a major role in the country's growth.
On the eve of 77th Republic Day, President Draupadi Murmu addressed the nation. The President said that this year's celebrations will also mark 150 years of national song Vande Mataram.
Since 7th November last year, celebrations marking 150 years of the composition of our national song Vande Mataram are also being organized. This song, which is a prayer to the divine form of Bharat Mata, instills patriotism in every Indian. Vande Mataram, composed by the Venerable Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, is our lyrical national prayer.
Hailing India's defense prowess, President Murmu said that the armed forces completely destroyed terror camps during Operation Sindoor. She added that indigenous weapons helped India achieve historic success in the operation.
Last year, our country launched precision strikes against terror infrastructure through Operation Sindoor. Terror centers were destroyed and many terrorists met their end. Our self-reliance in the field of defense powered the historic success of Operation Sindoor. Based on the strength of the Army, Air Force and Navy, people have complete trust in our defense preparedness.
Saying that national efforts towards female education and economic empowerment have increased, the President touched upon the growing role of women in the nation's development.
The role of Nari Shakti will be crucial in the making of Viksit Bharat. With increasing contribution by women, our country will set an example of an inclusive republic based on gender equality. With an inclusive approach, many schemes are being implemented for the welfare and development of the underprivileged segments.
President Murmu also said that India's digital payment revolution is inspiring the world. Bureau Report, DD India.
India's national anthem, Jana Gan Man, and the national song, Vande Mataram, they are more than just musical compositions. They, in fact, are symbols of the nation's freedom struggle, unity and identity. As India marks 150 years of Vande Mataram, its legacy continues to inspire generations with patriotism and cultural pride. Here's a report.
The national anthem Jan Gan Man and the national song Vande Mataram are not merely songs, but the very soul of India's freedom movement, which fills the hearts of millions of Indians with the spirit of patriotism. Their verses echoed in every movement, rally and revolutionary struggle during British rule. That is why, after independence, while drafting the constitution, India accorded Jan Gan Man the status of the national anthem and Vande Mataram that of the national song, recognizing them as national symbols. It was on January 24, 1950, India formally accorded the national status to Jan Gan Man and Vande Mataram. While Jan Gan Man symbolizes India's unity and sovereignty, Vande Mataram symbolizes devotion and reverence to the motherland. Both India's national anthem and national song are enduring symbols of Indian culture, unity and the freedom struggle. Both compositions reflect the nation's proud history and national identity. Jan Gan Man was written and composed by Rabindranath Tagore, originally written in the Bengali language, and was adopted as India's national anthem by the Constituent Assembly. Through this composition, Tagore deeply expressed the diversity, unity and sovereignty of Indian society. Of the national anthem and national song, their cultural diversity and their immense contribution to India's freedom struggle remains eternal. Bureau Report, DD India.
And joining us, Mark, for perspective on India's 77th Republic Day and the importance of two top EU leaders being in India as chief guests of India's 77th Republic Day and the India-EU summit that is to follow soon. We are being joined by Ashok Sajjanar, former senior diplomat, former Indian ambassador who served in various countries. Ambassador Sajjanar, such a pleasure to have you on this special broadcast on 77th Republic Day. Your thoughts on this occasion, Ambassador? We know that this is something which is very significant as far as the collective conscience of India is concerned, because this was 77 years back, that particular day, when we had seen the Indian Constitution coming into force. So, Ambassador, your thoughts on the occasion before we get into brass tacks of the importance of the EU leaders' presence.
Monmon, and thank you very much, Mark, for having me on the show. You're very right. It's a very significant occasion because, when we mark 77 years of our journey, of our history, of freedom, of independence, and as a republic, the thoughts definitely go back to the time when India achieved independence. And of course, what we see, what we hear, what we have read about it, that when India became independent, many not only in India, but around the world, many people thought that because India had so much of diversity, India had so much of inequality, that it would not really be able to survive as a united country and not as a democracy. Because, and we have seen in front of us that many countries that became independent around the same time after the Second World War, and they emerged as democracies, they emerged as united countries, but then neither their diversity nor the inequality in those countries could keep them together. We have the examples of the Soviet Union, of course, which had been a country since, which had come together from 1917. But we have seen its diversity, how it broke apart in the early 1990s. We have the example in our own vicinity, how Pakistan, which had got together on the basis of religion, it could not keep itself united. But as far as India is concerned, even as far as some of the developed countries are concerned, you know, Yugoslavia broke apart, Czechoslovakia, which was a united country, that broke apart. But India has continued to both stay united and also continue as a democracy. And it is also proven to the world that India's democracy, number one, it delivers, because we look at all the denominators, all the indicators that were there at the time of independence, whether it is in terms of poverty, it is in terms of literacy, it is in terms of infrastructure, social infrastructure, health care, the physical infrastructure. In every field, India has grown, India has prospered, India has done exceedingly well. And I think that is a tribute to the leadership of India, right from the time when we became independent with, you know, Mahatma Gandhi, his inspiration. And then over the last 10, 11 years, we have seen the country march forward in every sense. Also in terms of the policies, you know, since we have the EU top leadership with us, Munmun, also in terms of the policy of multi-alignment and strategic autonomy that India is adopting to deal with all the challenges, which very many other countries are finding it very difficult to contend. The last point that I'll make here is that India has been able to lift 250 million people out of poverty over the last 10 years or so. While it was known as one of the fragile 5 countries in the early 2010, the second decade of this century, today it has emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world. It is the 4th largest economy, contributing about 18% of growth as far as the world is concerned, soon to become the 3rd largest economy. And it is also, in terms of its policies, it serves as a bridge between the North and the South, between the developed and the developing countries. It has emerged as the voice of the global South, and also it is a bridge between the East and the West, one of the few countries that follows its principles and policies in terms of its long historical relationship with Russia, and also maintains close and dynamic, robust ties with the West, that is Europe, United States, even as far as the Russia-Ukraine conflict is concerned with Ukraine. Monmouth.
Right. Ambassador Sajjanhar, we'll come back to you. We have a correspondent joining us from Hyderabad. Sureka is joining us from Hyderabad. Sureka, how, is Hyderabad Telangana celebrating Republic Day? It's a technology hub. It has a young population. How does it deal with all these things in celebrating Republic Day and the spirit of India?
See, right now I'm at Parade Ground, Secunderabad, where all the arrangements have been done, and in a while we'll see the governor going to be here, the chief minister is going to be here, and as what we say that, just like last year or as the years have been, the chief minister will come here and pay a floral tributes to the martyrs place there, and after that, once the governor will be here, obviously as you can see behind me, the flag is there ready to be unfurled, and after that the tableaus which are going to be here, and then showcasing how Telangana has been achieving and moving towards the success, because these are, when we say that, whether that's in Hyderabad or in any other parts of India, when we say that states are showcasing their success and achievements, somewhere we are talking about the unity and pride of our country that's been exhibited here, and a day where we talk of national festival, and a day when we talk of unity and togetherness, because just not at parade grounds, but while coming to this area, what I've also seen is that, on all the streets, every street we see that, a flag is getting ready to be unfurled, and then people are gathering. Small children are there who've not gone to school or coming back from school just to be a part of this festivity. And what we also see is that, it's just not a holiday for India. It's a day where we celebrate the unity and strength of our country, how we've been moving together year with the passing year, and then how we've been going through the success. When we talk of technology, or when we talk of the cultural pride that we've been seeing, and when we talk of Vikasit Bharat, that we are saying that, how we are achieving towards that. When we say 2047, how we are moving towards that. When we say that we are the fourth largest economic power, so why and how we have achieved till here, and then what is going to be the success way towards in the coming years. So these are the things that we are going to showcase.
Right, Surekha, also this is a juncture where we also remind ourselves of how Hyderabad was integrated into the Indian Union because of the efforts of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. If you could tell us about the inclusive participation this time around that we are seeing in Republic Day celebrations. We know that for many years now this has become a people's event where increasingly the general people, including the youth, are participating in Republic Day events. There are quizzes, etc., that have been held across the country on Vande Mataram as well as other similar issues. If you could tell us about how the youth of Hyderabad and Telangana as a whole have been participating this time around in the celebrations.
As you also rightly said, that it was because of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's efforts that we see that Hyderabad is part of India now, and year by year we see that celebrations together being celebrated. But now a change, what we are seeing is that, people are holding the flags on the streets, and then after the participation, or after whatever the programs that they've been conducting, after that we see that, they are on streets holding that flag high and showcasing that we are united, irrespective of the caste, religion, or whatever. I mean, whether we are, we see that even senior citizens being part of this celebration. That's what we see, because when we say it's a festival mode, we see a caste or a religion or a particular sect or of an age group take part in this. But this is one event where we see that, irrespective of age, caste or religion, we see all coming together, and that's what is happening. And right now, behind me also, the preparations, the last minute preparations or the last minute rehearsals are being conducted right now, because just in a while we see that governor and other dignitaries are going to be here, and behind me we can also see the medals and other trophies which have been which are going to be given by the governor, also been displayed here already. So it's just in some time from now that we see that this program will also start.
Well, thanks very much, Surekha, for joining us from Secunderabad with those inputs. Let's turn once again to Ambassador Ashok Sajanhar for a broader perspective. Ambassador Sajanhar, so you were highlighting about India's, India's growth over the last 77 years. How would you assess India's global standing now, diplomatically, in terms of a rising power, or one of the major powers in a multipolar world? Also with regard to, other nations who are emerging in Asia?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark, for that question. It's a very important issue to wrap our minds around because, if you look at the 77 years of India's republic and about 80 years of India's independence, India, of course, when it became independent, its education level was at about 30% or so in terms of poverty levels, very, very high. And that was the time that immediately after the Second World War, immediately after India's independence, the world became divided into two different, it became a bipolar world with one side emerging as the capitalist led by the Americans and the other side by the Soviet Union. And that continued till about 1991, when we saw the disintegration of the Soviet Union. Challenging times, many wars that we had to confront. 1971, the War of Liberation of Bangladesh, 1965 also. And after that, the disintegration of the Soviet Union gave a little greater freedom and space as far as India is concerned. And the most outstanding feature in that was 1998 when we had the nuclear test and declared the emergence of India as a peaceful state, but a nuclear weapon state, particularly since we were surrounded on two sides by nuclear weapon powers. And after that, I think it has been, particularly over the last 10 years, to come to your question as to how India is viewed. The fact that India's economy has grown so well over the last 10, 11 years, when this government took power in 2014, India was about the 10th largest economy in the world. Today, as I mentioned, fourth largest, on way to become the third largest economy.
Yes, Ambassador, we'll take that point further in a bit. Let's get ground updates now. Akshay Dongre, our correspondent, is joining us from where all the action is, Kartavya Path in New Delhi, where we are standing by for the grandest display of India's military might and cultural diversity in the form of the main Republic Day parade of India. Well, Akshay, if you could tell us about how battle readiness is very much at the heart of military display this time around.
Well, absolutely, Murman. In fact, a battle array, or as you have right, formation and battle readiness of this year's Republic Day parade, because this is for the first time that Republic Day parade is happening after Operation Sindoor was conducted against Pakistan and the terror establishments that are there, and to reflect the growing might and of the Indian Armed Forces, the way India now is combat ready as far as all the challenges are concerned, to display that, to reflect that preparedness of our armed forces. Even the Republic Day parade has transformed as far as the way the parades are conducted. The way earlier it was only a ceremonial spectacle for the people. Now this is also a reflection of India's military might and how battle formations are formed, how they act against enemies, how they act against adversaries, how they work, and in what manner the Indian Armed Forces, with cohesion, with synchrony, as far as the Indian Army is concerned, the Navy as well as the Air Force, along with other forces such as the Central Armed Police Forces, including the BSF, the CRPF, how all of these forces are working in cohesion today to deter the incoming challenges, to deter the new age risks that are there in combat. That includes the usage not only of men but also military technology that is also evolving at a very, very rapid pace. So the synchrony is going to be displayed today on the Kartavya Path, where the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force will be showing the cohesion that they have now as far as battle readiness of our country is concerned.
Akshay, also tell us a little bit about the chief guests, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the European Council President Antonio Costa. their presence at this year's Republic Day. What significance does it have, and in what way is the parade different from their point of view, for them?
Well, it's very interesting to see that this time around it's not only a head of a country but a head of a union. A head of union, in fact, who have been invited, including the European Union President as well as the European Council President, who arrived in New Delhi yesterday and day before that. Both the leaders are here. They are the chief guest of the Republic Day Parade. In fact, for them, it is also going to be a spectacle of the new India that the world has been talking about. It's going to be a spectacle of the power that India has, not only in terms of military might but tradition, culture as well. So clearly, what we are seeing as well is not just invitation of chief guests just for this particular ceremony. We are also expecting a major trade deal as far as both the sides are concerned. India and European Union are expected to sign a major trade deal. As
ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮಗಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಆಫರ್ ಇದೆ. QR ಕೋಡ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ UPI ಪಿನ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಮತ್ತು 10,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಖಾತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ.
ಪಿನ್ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಹಣ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಫಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಮೂರ್ಖ ಅಲ್ಲ.
ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ. UPI ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ UPI ಪಿನ್ ಹಣ ಕಳುಹಿಸಲು ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪಡೆಯಲು ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನಪಿಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಾನು ಮೂರ್ಖ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಯಾರ್ದಾದ್ರೂ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ.
old kind of displays of the military, including the only camel battalion that is there in the world that is functional, that will be there on the on the Kartavya path. There will be drones, there will be other kind of soft and hard kill weapon system that will be displayed. So it is going to be a blend of tradition and military might both.
Right, Akshay, we'll keep coming back to you for more updates as you track closely the grandest Republic Day parade of India at the Kartavya path in New Delhi. Well, Mark, there's a lot more to tell viewers also about, especially the two chief guests that have been invited for the 77th Republic Day parade. Well, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, are the chief guests at the Republic Day celebrations today.
In fact, India and the EU share a partnership rooted in mutual trust and shared values. India's engagement with the EU highlights its strategic focus on Europe, aligned with the upcoming India-EU summit and the free trade agreement that is in its final stages of discussion. As of 2024, over 9,31,000 Indians resided in the European Union, including more than 16,000 blue card holders.
And in the past 2 decades, if we see, then more than 6,000 Indian students received the Erasmus Mundus scholarships, highlighting India-EU mobility and educational ties. And the visit of the European Union leaders underscores government's intent to elevate India-EU relations as a core pillar of its global and European strategy.
Well, earlier the EU leaders were accorded the Guard of Honor at the Air Force Station Palam in New Delhi on Sunday. And during their visit, the two leaders will co-chair the 16th India-EU Summit. On the 27th of January, the EU leaders will also meet President Murmu and hold restricted and delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. An India-EU Business Forum is expected to be organized on the sidelines of the India-EU Summit.
Well, India and the European Union, together representing 2 billion people and 25% of the global GDP, are moving closer to a landmark trade agreement. As global supply chains shift, India is emerging as a reliable and trusted economic partner. The India-EU summit on 27 January could mark a turning point in global trade. Ajay Mishra reports.
India, the world's fastest growing major economy, and the European Union, a bloc of 27 countries together represent a market of nearly 2 billion people. As global attention turns to the India-EU summit on January 27th, expectations are rising around a proposed free trade agreement that could reshape global trade flows. Amid geopolitical uncertainty, India is increasingly seen as a reliable long-term business partner. After signing trade agreements with countries including Mauritius, UAE, Australia, EFTA nations, UK, Oman and New Zealand over the past 5 years, India is now negotiating with the European Union, its largest economic bloc partner.
भारत के लिए और यूरोपियन यूनियन के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक है एवं एक मील का पत्थर साबित होने जा रहा है। रिजिलिएंट सप्लाई चेन बनाने में हमको मदद मिलेगी, ग्रीन इनिशिएटिव्स में सपोर्ट मिलेगा और इसके अलावा जो इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू है नॉन ट्रेड इशू जैसे क्लीन टेक्नोलॉजी है, एनवायरमेंटल रेगुलेशन है, सप्लाई चेन है, इसके अंदर एक मुझे लगता है बहुत ज़्यादा मदद होने जा रही है।
Experts believe that the free trade agreement between India and the European Union will benefit all three sectors: agriculture, manufacturing and services. Indian agricultural and marine products may gain wider access to European markets, while sectors such as garments, leather, and light engineering stand to benefit. Pharmaceuticals, steel, petroleum, and chemicals are also expected to see improved market access. In 2023, India exported goods worth $76 billion to the EU and imported $61 billion. In 2024, India exported 37 billion euros worth of services to the EU, while imports stood at 29 billion euros. The European Union is still the largest trading bloc for India, and after the free trade agreement, India will start benefiting from the GSP, Generalized System of Preferences, under which no duties are levied on imports from developing countries into Europe.
पिछले कई सालों में जीएसपी के विड्रॉल होने के बाद इंडियन एक्सपोर्ट की जो कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस है थोड़ी सी कम हुई थी, वो एफटीए आने के बाद बहुत ज़्यादा ही हो जाएगी क्योंकि जीएसपी में जो कंसेशन था उससे बहुत ज़्यादा कंसेशन एफटीए में ज़ीरो ड्यूटी के कारण इंडियन एक्सपोर्ट्स को मिलेगा।
Now let's understand why the European Union is supporting a free trade agreement with India. In fact, amidst increasing global uncertainty, most countries in the world are emphasizing business relationships that are reliable in the long term. After supply chain disruptions during the COVID-19 pandemic and slowing growth across Europe, the EU is seeking to diversify trade and reduce dependence on limited suppliers. Amidst falling growth rates in Europe, the EU will find India to be its fastest growing market. Duties on wine and spirits imported from Europe to India may be reduced. European luxury car companies will also benefit from India's large market. Aircraft, diamonds, and luxury goods will find new opportunities in India. India has maintained that national interests will not be compromised in any trade deal. Safeguards for farmers, the dairy sector, and labor-intensive industries such as textiles and leather remain priorities. India has also raised concerns over the EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism, which could impact exports of steel, aluminium, and cement. Trade talks between India and the EU have been ongoing for nearly 2 decades. Officials have indicated that agreement may be reached on most chapters during the summit. Bureau Report, DD India.
And let's take forward our discussion. Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar, former Indian ambassador, is with us, and also Shama Mishra is joining us from Mumbai with the latest on how Mumbai is celebrating this day, which has a very significant presence in India's journey as a republic. Well, Shama, coming to you, tell us about the celebrations there in Mumbai. How are people also becoming part of the celebrations increasingly for such events and such national celebrations like the Republic Day?
Well, Mumun, happy Republic Day to all our viewers. And as you rightly said, that Mumbai has played an important role in the journey. And right now we are here at a very heritage and a unique point, which is also called as the selfie point. And right behind me, you can see this is the BMC headquarters. You would be remembering recently the BMC elections were held and they were completed. And here the unfurling of our tricolor has already been done. There were people from the Mumbai Fire Brigade department. They had shown their way of, they showcased their culture, they showcased their way. And if you see down, if I'd like to ask my camera person to show you the part where it is red colored, behind this curtain is around 80 years old Mumbai Fire Brigade's ladder mounted fire vehicle, which was used during the infamous Mumbai dock fire, and this has been restored, and this is part of the celebrations for Republic Day. Also, as I mentioned, that this place is famous and called as a selfie point. There are people, let's try and talk to them. Ma'am, how are you feeling today, and as we are celebrating our Republic Day, what would you like to tell our viewers?
हाँ, अच्छा लग रहा है. मेरा सौभाग्य है मेरा फ्रीडम फाइटर की लड़की हो. हाँ, तो वो तो गुजर गए मेरे पिताजी. उसका नाम था जोगेश चंद्र चक्रवर्ती. जब पाकिस्तान वेस्ट बंगाल भाग हुआ तो मेरे पिताजी वेस्ट बंगाल में चला आया.
तो आज के आप जनरेशन को जब देखते हैं तो आपको कितना प्राउड लगता है, कैसा लगता है कि आपके फादर फायर फाइटर थे, देश के लिए उन्होंने काम किया?
देश के लिए किया. तब मैं तो छोटी थी, लेकिन वहाँ का और यहाँ का बहुत फर्क है. अच्छा. हाँ, मेरा पिताजी के दान ध्यान थे, वो तो अभी तक नहीं है. अच्छा.
ठीक है, हमसे बात करने के लिए धन्यवाद. Munun, I'd like to show you another heritage point over here. This is the CSMT, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus, and this is UNESCO World Heritage. Here also the Central Railway headquarters are there. They have also unfurled their, there are people who are waving us. Let's talk to them as well. You've come here today at the selfie point. What would you like to tell our viewers on the occasion of Republic Day?
यस मैडम, ये काफ़ी मतलब हमारे लिए एज अ इंडियन काफ़ी गर्व की बात है कि एज 26 जनवरी को हम रिपब्लिक हुए और यहाँ पर CST स्टेशन के बाहर और BMC के हेडक्वार्टर के बाहर जो एक नज़ारा रहता है वो काफ़ी मतलब दिल को छू जाता है और हम एज अ इंडियन काफ़ी प्राउड फील करते हैं इस बात के लिए. और DD नेशनल का भी काफ़ी धन्यवाद, क्योंकि DD नेशनल इंडिया ने हमें DD इंडिया ने हमें मतलब बचपन से ही जो रिपब्लिक डे परेड हो या फिर काफी सारे प्रोग्राम्स हो वो दिखाए हैं, इसलिए हम उनके भी मतलब शुक्रगुजार हैं.
Okay, thank you so much. So lot of different types of people over here, and each one has a story, and each one has a very emotional connect with the country and also with DD Doordarshan as a whole. So I was also showing you the places over here which are heritage buildings, which are which are of national importance, and people from all walks of life are coming over here, and this will be throughout the day. We will also be seeing bike rallies, car rallies, and today on the occasion of Republic Day, there's a special vintage car rally that would be taken out from the Cuff Parade area, which is one end of Mumbai, to the coastal road, which is newly built, and all the cars which are around 95 years old, 80 years old, they will be running on the streets of Mumbai. So it will be a view to see, and Mumbaikars are celebrating Republic Day in their own way.
Indeed. Also, Shama, since Mumbai is seen as the financial capital of India. So in that respect, what kind of celebrations are we expecting? And what about the youth and also civic groups? After all, it is an area you're in front of one of these areas where people congregate, and generally, the vibrant culture of Mumbai. The resilience of Mumbai is seen all the time.
Well, definitely. This is a point where the Mumbai actually begins. If you see the boats Mumbai, you'll find it at Gateway of India or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, which is an identity of Mumbai. So people coming out from all walks of life. And as I was mentioning recently, the BMC elections were held. So in that, another point that came out that Mumbai is for everybody. And when I say everybody, people from across the country, they've come here and they've built a life for themselves. So each one of them, each family of them, they are bringing their own way of celebrating the Republic Day. And while we are talking about youth, while we are talking about the younger generation, we all know that today is a holiday, but schools, colleges, organizations, institutions, offices, they all call their people for a special flag unfurling ceremony.
Right.
And it is the morning time that all people, they dressed up in whites or the tricolors color. They come there and they like to showcase their pride. They like to showcase their patriotism for the country. And you'll definitely see after Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged people to, unfurl or to have the flags, the tricolor at their homes, at their balconies. You will see this has become a common scenario here in Mumbai, that balconies, offices, they will have the national tricolor flying off from the balconies. And the societies as well, the buildings also, they organize these kind of cultural programs which is followed by unfurling of the tricolor.
Right.
Young kids, small kids, they come out and they are dressed up as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters to show the world, to show people that
Yes.
the pride, the legacy of Republic Day, or the freedom that we've gotten is with them. And this is definitely a proud moment for entire Mumbai, entire Maharashtra. And while we are talking about celebrations, a huge celebration will be commencing soon at Mumbai's famous ground, Shivaji Park, where Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he'll be unfurling the tricolor, and there'll be parades, there'll be different contingents coming across that particular area. And different offices, different organizations like the CSMT Heritage Building, the Mantralaya, the Gateway of India, these all structures were lit up in tricolor colors yesterday night, and it will be done today as well. So these kind of celebrations we are seeing, and this will be going on for a day or two. Also at Gateway of India, we did see military band
Yes, Shyama.
which captured rather the essence of Republic Day.
Yeah, we leave it there for the moment. Thanks very much, Shyama Mishra, for joining us from Mumbai and putting that, the vibrant colors of Mumbai into context. Ambassador Sajanhar is standing by. Ambassador Sajanhar, we ran a few stories about India-EU relations. What is your expectation from the, from the forthcoming summit, and what can be drawn from the chief guests today? Our chief guests, what will they take away with them? Will it, help us also in our negotiations for a proper deal?
Yes, thank you very much for all these questions, Mark. I think this is going to be a very historic occasion. Historic not only in the sense that, both India and EU, they will further cement their partnership. India was, in fact, one of the first countries that recognized the European Commission when it was launched in 1958. And our relations with the European Union have been increasing, have been growing. But this tomorrow, when we have the India-EU summit, and 16th India-EU summit, and also I am very optimistic and hopeful that we will sign the India-EU FTA, which has been in the works for the last 19 years or so. I remember I was in Brussels at that time when we had the at the India-EU summit in Helsinki, that we launched the negotiations at that time with the commitment that we will conclude them in 2 years. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that. And in 2013-14, it went into hibernation, but then it was picked up again in 2021-22. And both the sides have worked in a very determined manner to get here. But I think the geopolitical circumstances also need to be kept in mind because of course, these negotiations have been going on before Mr. Trump came to power.
Yes.
But the manner in which Mr. Trump has completely upended, the global trade relations and partnerships, etc., that has given urgency to both India and Europe to come
Right.
together. So we've signed the FTA with EFTA countries earlier last year, also with the United Kingdom. So it's only the European Union that is left, and I think it's going to be a very positive, very forward-looking, visionary partnership agreement that we are going to get. It will cover trade in goods. It will cover trade in services. It will cover investments.
Yes.
In addition to that, I think the final point, Mark, if you permit, I'll make is that it is not only trade, it is also a strategic partnership. Both the countries are also going to sign a strategic defense partnership, which is so very important, and it is European Union has been at the receiving end
Yes,
from Mr.
indeed.
Trump, and so also India. Mark.
Right. Well, stay with us. We'll discuss further the importance of the agreements that you are talking about, the free trade agreement whose negotiations are likely to be concluded, and also the Defence and Security Partnership Pact that you referred to. Joining us for further perspective is Major General Ashok Kumar, Vishisht Seva Medal awardee and Director General of CENJOS, a Centre for Joint Warfare Studies in New Delhi. Well, welcome, sir, to this special broadcast. Appreciate your patience all this while. Your thoughts first on what the Republic Day really means for not just the countrymen, but particularly for those in the defense forces, because it is their day to showcase their military might, their day to think out of the box, to focus on self-reliance in defense, and also this time around to show battle readiness.
As far as Republic Day is concerned, this is an occasion where it is equally important to each person of the country. More so for the defense forces, what has changed in the war fighting, that it is not only the defense forces which are going to fight the war, it is whole of the nation which fights, because the countries whosoever have got certain potential, irrespective of the field, they are weaponizing that particular field. And therefore, we need to appreciate that we have to take everybody in the country on board in whatever capacity they are working, so that as and when any form of informal war is launched, whether it is trade, tariff, restriction of imports, fertilizer, critical minerals, or restriction of the energy items, our country is capable of taking care of that. More so since Operation Sindoor is currently on, only its intense phase, which happened between 7th and 10th May, is over. It is very, very apt that the country had decided to fill the current celebration in form of battle fighting formations, which demonstrates that we are still at war, or we have the capacity to continue at war. We have also chosen certain new facets in this particular parade, wherein you will find the latest announcements of organizational changes by the Indian Army in form of Hero battalions, Agnishas regiments, and so many other things have been brought to the knowledge of the entire public, and in fact I will say to the entire world. And therefore this Republic Day parade is going to be a game changer for India's defense forces. We are also heading towards a major organizational change towards theaterization. It's matter of time as to when that is going to be announced, because it is our integrated and joint war fighting which will be giving the country the decisive edge, because our enemy, our adversary is not individual countries, it is a group of countries. We have seen in Operation Sindoor that Pakistan was supported by China, Turkey, and other such countries. And therefore, the Indian Defence Forces, they have to enhance their capability. They have to be indigenously capable of fighting their war from their indigenously produced weapons. And that is where the role of industry also comes, the role of manufacturing also comes, and the whole country has to join hands to ensure that country is able to fight and it is not getting exploited by any other country by cutting the supply chain. And also it should be able to assist its friendly foreign countries so that we have more partners, more people who echo our thought process on the regional spaces as well as the international spaces.
Major General Dr. Ashok Kumar, sir, tell us also about what signal is being sent out on Republic Day when we show all this military might and these military displays. How do they contribute, in a sense, to India's strategic signaling, both to allies? You did talk about the new threat perception in terms of, joint or, the enemies are as a cluster rather than as individual nations. And you are an expert on jointness of joint warfare studies. So tell us a little bit about all these, how it's evolved and what this display is going to send out, what message it's sending out.
See, there are three major disruptions which are sweeping the world: the geopolitical disruptions, geo-economic disruptions, and technological disruptions. And it is the technological disruptions which actually even modify the geopolitical and geo-economic disruptions. So this parade is actually bringing out state-of-the-art proven equipments in Operation Sindoor, wherein long-range precision weapons showcased a new way of warfighting without crossing the line of control or the international boundary, and still achieving the military as well as the political aim. Now, once we show this kind of proven capability to the world, there are a large number of countries which require these weapons for their security, and therefore more and more countries are approaching us because we have proved to be a dependable country and not who exploit other countries in case of their need or in our relationship, as against China, which believes the concept of the debt trapping. So by showcasing these proven equipments, more and more countries which are looking at us, they will be able to purchase these equipments, get supported on these equipments, and we will turn from a net importer country in the defense domain to the next exporter country in defense domain. We have already moved from a mere 614 crores defense exports to currently close to 30,000 crore defense exports, and this is going to rise as we move ahead. Second, as far as the own country is concerned, we can tell our people that they can continue enhancing their trust on their defense forces, which can take the fight to any level. That once even a terrorist activity happens on its people, in a case like Pahalgam, we are willing to decimate that terrorist infrastructure and their propagator going across the line of control and international boundary in the neighboring country. Not only that, we have undoubtedly told, while we do not intend to harm anybody, we don't have any expansionist agenda, but at the same time, if there is any country who takes any adversarial actions to any of our citizens, defense forces with the political support are willing to go to any mile whatsoever. And the battle array formations which have been selected, they actually showcase exactly the way we have gone in for the operation effectiveness during Operation Sindoor. In fact, I must inform the audience through you that Chief of Defense Staff General Anil Chauhan has taken very many pragmatic actions to ensure that we do not only fight the current day's war, but also able to fight the future wars, which we are looking at 10 years and beyond. And that requires tremendous amount of capability generation in people, in their minds, and in their equipping and thought process.
Right.
Because the newer forms of war are going to be totally different.
Yes, we'll further discuss the strategic import of the visit of the two top EU leaders and also the India-EU summit that is to take place on the 27th of January, that is tomorrow. Yes. But before that, Ambassador Sajjanhar, we know that a strategic partnership between India and the EU was entered in 2004. And now we are looking at a joint strategic agenda of sorts where there would be focus on, like General was saying, on a strategic security partnership pact. Besides that, there's focus on concluding the FTA agreements. But would you say that the India-EU summit will mean an overall upgradation of ties so as to give further strategic momentum to this strategic relationship or partnership, where we could look at cooperation not just in these areas but also in technology, in space, in clean energy, in mobility, connectivity, to name a few?
No, absolutely. I think you're very right, Munmun. I think we have to really keep it in mind that when the European Commission was established in 1958, as I said, and India became a very active and a strong, vibrant partner, and then it transformed itself from just a trade body into a much broader get-together combination of countries in Europe in 1992 when it became the European Union, and India's relations continue to expand with it. Its focus has by and large been on trade, on commerce, on investment, on technology, green energy, etc. Defense, security and defense is something that it has not really engaged itself very strongly in, basically because it has had the support of the United States in terms of under the provisions of the NATO agreement signed in 1949, in which the security was really given over to the United States, and the United States, for all the benefits that it got from the European Union, it was very happy to fulfill that responsibility, fulfill that part of providing security. But we've seen over the last 10 years, particularly since Mr. Trump came first to power in 2017, that this reliability, that this confidence of a transatlantic security partnership, that has been coming down very severely, very seriously, and in a very marked manner, because you would remember, your viewers and listeners would remember, some of the comments that Mr. Trump had made at that time, that NATO is brain dead and that he's not going to, he didn't even attend some of the NATO summit meetings as such. So I think that gave some sort of an impetus as far as European Union is concerned to develop its own security and defense policy.
Yes, Ambassador, if I may come in here, is the United States also taking a cue now from the growing bonds between India and the EU, with Scott Bessent, US Treasury Secretary, saying that the US is considering, and there's a path towards removal of those 25% tariffs that US has imposed on India for purchasing oil from Russia. So it seems that there is a competitive spirit of sorts now, with the United States also looking at what really can be done to see that the whole strategic and economic space is not dominated in a sense by this new player, the EU.
Yeah, you see, it's, I think, less in terms of, competition of sorts, but there is also the heartburn that, how is European Union taking, marching a stride over us. You would remember that when Prime Minister Modi had gone to China for the SCO summit, and there was the meeting in Tianjin between Xi Jinping, Prime Minister Modi, and Putin on the 1st of September, and Mr. Trump had come out with that tweet saying that, we have lost India to the dark world of China and Russia, etc. And India and Russia can take their dead economies together. So there is that feeling of, in more, colloquial terms, one would call FOMO, fear of missing out, because that is what the feeling seems to be as far as the United States is concerned. And that's why you would have seen that there are these delegations which have been in India, in Delhi, which met, of US congressmen. So along with the US Ambassador Sergio Gore, they met Jaishankar yesterday. They also met Piyush Goyal yesterday. You've spoken about Scott Bessent's statement. You've also seen Sergio Gore, with the Apache helicopters,
right,
giving out these pictures. So
Yes.
basically, I think sending out a message that don't forget us. We are also there, and we also want to sort of, have a piece of the cake. India is, I would say, it is being courted by everyone. India doesn't depend upon the United States for its security. We are a partner. We are not an ally. So, there
Yes.
is the sort of pressure that the United States can impose on
Right.
Europe, on Japan, on South Korea. It cannot do so in India. Even after the 50% tariffs that came on India in August,
Yes.
our exports to the United States have continued to grow.
Absolutely. So it's basically a big statement when it comes to India's strategic autonomy. Well, we'll leave it at that. Ambassador Sajjanhar, pleasure to have you on this special broadcast, and thank you for sharing your views on the importance of today's occasion and the importance
Absolutely.
of the visit of the two leaders.
And well, the Padma Awards for 2026 have also been announced on Republic Day Eve, honoring excellence and distinguished service across sectors. 131 awards recognizing eminent personalities as well as the unsung contributors, they have been announced. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated the awardees, calling these honors a tribute to the commitment and excellence of these people. Rupak Kumar Jha has the report.
The 2026 Padma awardees, including Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri, have been announced, in keeping with the tradition of unveiling the honors on Republic Day Eve to recognize exceptional public service and achievement. For 2026, President Draupadi Murmu has approved conferment of 131 Padma Awards, recognizing well-known as well as unsung individuals with long-standing contributions in diverse fields such as healthcare, education, livelihood, environment, and cultural preservation. In the Padma Vibhushan award category, 5 names have been confirmed. This includes popular Bollywood actor Dharmendra Singh Deol, who will be conferred the honor posthumously. He is known for his work in films like Sholay and Dharamveer. Further, the list includes former Kerala Chief Minister V.S. Achyutanandan posthumously, eminent Malayalam journalist P. Narayanan, former Supreme Court Judge K.T. Thomas, and N. Rajam for her contribution in the field of art. For the Padma Bhushan Awards, the list has 13 names, including former Jharkhand CM Shibu Soren, popular singer Alka Yagnik, actor-producer Mammootty, Indian banker and billionaire Uday Kotak, and former governor of Maharashtra Bhagat Singh Koshyari, among others. And finally, the 2026 Padma Shri awardees include star Indian cricketers Rohit Sharma and Harmanpreet Kaur, hockey star Savita Punia, actor Prashanjit Chatterjee, and the duo of Gayatri and Ranjini Balasubramanian, among 108 other known and unsung distinguished individuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the Padma awardees for their outstanding contributions to the nation. PM Modi said that the honor reflects the spirit of commitment and excellence that continues to inspire generations. As India celebrates 77th Republic Day on 26th of January, the celebration of grassroots level heroes strengthens the core of what constitutes India. Rupak Kumar Jha's report for DD India.
Well, President Draupadi Murmu approved gallantry awards as well for 70 armed forces personnel, and these include 6 posthumous honors on the eve of the 77th Republic Day. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla will be honored with the Ashok Chakra, while Kirti Chakras will be conferred on Major Arshdeep Singh, Naib Subedar Dholeshwar Subha Singh, and Group Captain Prashant Balakrishnan Nair.
The President also approved several other gallantry medals, 301 military decorations and 98 mentioned in dispatches for personnel of the Army, Navy, Air Force and the Border Roads Organization.
Well, the national capital is on high alert as well, and this is for the 77th Republic Day celebrations. There are around 10,000 police personnel who've been deployed, and they support a multi-layered security arrangement. Advanced surveillance tools have been used, including AI-enabled smart glasses, and thousands of surveillance cameras are being used to monitor the city. And we continue to have with us Major General retired Dr. Ashok Kumar. He's the Director General for the Center for Joint Warfare Studies. General Ashok Kumar, when we look at the President's address on the eve of Republic Day, she mentioned, about the power of women. And we are seeing also women in the armed forces playing a greater and greater role. As we see that gallantry awards and all that are announced, to what extent do you see the armed forces, having a greater role for women going forward?
Our women in the country contribute to close to 50% of our population. Not only in the defense forces, their being out in the various other fields was actually restricting the national growth. Now, while the other fields have adopted, the Indian Defence Forces have also come out of their erstwhile belief of being the male-dominated forces, and they have adopted the induction of women in armed forces in majority of the segments. While there are some societal mental sets in certain people, but the leadership in the defense forces is very positive towards that. And wherever they have taken our women as part of their war fighting, they have done exceptionally well. I will not be wrong to say that in fact their performance has been better there than their male counterparts as well. Indeed. And as we go ahead, after opening vacancies in the Sainik schools, induction at the National Defence Academy level, and a number of other streams, in coming days will have major segment of the armed forces also being covered by the women power. And I think every passing day, when the women power quotient grows, the defense forces capability grows, the nation grows. Even the nature, the nature of war though remains same, but the character of war is changing, and the women are going to find a more potent role in coming days. So it's a welcome sign, and defense forces are all for it. They have already taken institutional changes, and not only incrementally. Now they are going for full throttle induction of the women in majority of their arms and services.
Right. General, also, like we've been saying, this is the day to showcase India's military might with increasing focus on Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, and also to show India's battle readiness. There was mention of India's Operation Sindoor by the President of India. You had mentioned it too, but this is also an occasion to further expand the India-EU partnership also in the domain of defense and security. And the Defence and Security Partnership Pact that is expected to be signed between India and the EU in a couple of days is also focusing on counter-terrorism, maritime security, cyber security. So how do you see the complementarities between the two? India positioning itself as an increasingly self-reliant defence force, while also ensuring that there are growing synchronicities and growing collaborations.
सारे प्रोटीन्स हाई क्वालिटी नहीं होते. गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड परफॉर्मेंस के लिए चाहिए ऑप्टिमम न्यूट्रिशन गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड 100% वे. इसका मेन इंग्रेडिएंट है वे प्रोटीन आइसोलेट. एक्सेस कार्ब्स, फैट्स और लैक्टोज को वे प्रोटीन से आइसोलेट किया जाता है. इसलिए होता है फास्टर एब्जॉर्प्शन और मसल रिकवरी. गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड परफॉर्मेंस के लिए ऑप्टिमम न्यूट्रिशन.
With number of countries where there is a convergence of their security interests, and the three areas which you mentioned, which was mentioned by the president, like cyber security, the maritime security. So if you see the India as we see its geography, it is time that people were earlier seeing this as a continental country. But actually, if you see its length of the maritime boundary, it is actually an island with some land borders, and that has positioned India to focus more in naval growth of the forces and resources. It has become a most potent nation in the Indian Ocean region, where bulk of the international trade passes today. It has taken multiple actions in the help of both friends and foes in the maritime security domain. The countries in the world have got tremendous amount of faith on the Indian Defence Forces, both for HADR operations, that is for whenever any disasters take place, and also for anti-piracy and providing the requisite security in the maritime domain. So European Union's agreement with India will have the maritime security, the cyber security, and such kind of things getting further strengthened. Because gone are the days when there was a time of war and time of peace. Today we are at war at every moment. Only thing, at times there and the cyber threats are manifesting. Sometimes it is maritime, sometimes it is informal wars, which I talked of in my initial comments. And therefore this partnership of European Union with 27 countries is going to be the game changer and very, very positive for the country. And I think it will also have a kind of effect in other countries which were sitting on the fence whether to go in with India or not. I think more and more countries will now gravitate towards the India's strategic
right. Do stay with us, Major General Ashok Kumar. We are going across to Shabir Dar, who is joining us from Srinagar, and he's well clad, as we can see, because obviously there's a harsh winter when we look at Kashmir. So tell us a little bit about how celebrations for Republic Day happen as they do in the coldest time in Kashmir.
Yeah, Mark, as Radley said, it is actually winter here, but the warmth of the Republic Day is, seen all around in Srinagar. You can see behind me, there are people already singing the patriotic songs. And, and everywhere in Kashmir and in particular in Srinagar, as I came from home to this place, I saw the children particularly, coming out of the street with the tricolor in their hands, and the educational institutions and other important buildings have been decorated, and there are functions happening this time in every school and education institution across Kashmir. In addition to the main function that is happening in Srinagar's Bakshi Stadium and Jammu's Maulana Azad Stadium, where the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir is, taking the salute and sharing the function. So indeed, a patriotic power in Kashmir, and amid this chill, and all this has been ensured by making arrangements in all sectors, particularly in the security arrangement. It has multi-level security arrangements are in place in Srinagar and across Kashmir to ensure that the 77th Republic Day goes smooth. And administration has also ensured that people who wish to join these functions have safe travel and all this, because arrangements have been made for people transport and all this, because it is chilly,
right, absolutely.
You can't see snow in Srinagar, but across Kashmir in villages and in the peripheries, there is a good amount of snow there. So people have to be given facilities to reach to the venues where the Republic Day functions are being held. And I'll always say that Kashmir has a lot to showcase in this day, because a lot of development and progress has happened in Jammu and Kashmir in past 10 years, and that is actually being showcased in the main functions in Bakshi Stadium in Srinagar and in Jammu's Maulana Azad Stadium, where Lieutenant Governor is taking the salute. The donkeys, they are reflecting the progress and progress that has been witnessed in Kashmir in past 10 years.
Thanks very much, Shabir Dar, for joining us. So all the development that's taking place in Jammu and Kashmir also going to be displayed during the Republic Day celebrations. General Ashok Kumar is still with us. General, when we look at the kind of threat perception that we are talking about going forward, and we talked a little bit also about indigenous defense technologies being showcased primarily at the parade. what do you look ahead now? Let's look for 1 decade ahead. How do you see the armed forces preparing for the kind of threat perceptions that exist?
Well, initially we were focusing on the individual countries, like China being our primary threat on the northern borders. Pakistan, in any case, was our perpetual threat on the western borders. But what was seen was felt earlier, but was seen during Operation Sindhu, that there are no two fronts. Now the China and Pakistan have become an integrated front, and so our capacity creation has to take care of these realities. And not only that, countries like Turkey, which also participated during Operation Sindhu, not only by providing the large number of drones, but also the drone operators, some of them which were killed during our operations on 10th of May in their Bholari air base. So therefore, we have a larger threat spectrum, and therefore we have to have enhanced capacities. Now, enhanced capacities do not mean that we have enhanced numbers or the strength in our defense forces, but we have to focus on quality as compared to quantity, and that is the direction in which the Indian defense forces and indigenous weapon productions are currently going. We are going for long range missiles, both which are capable of firing from air to ground or air to air, also the BrahMos and similar of our indigenous capability long range missiles. We are focusing more on precision, and therefore we are leveraging the capacity of ISRO to launch more number of satellites in the different orbits, so that we can have the positions, navigations, and entire accuracy being given to our weapons for the precision to be achieved. We are developing the capacity to be able to launch our operations anywhere in the world in coming days. And of course, it doesn't mean that we want to become a threat to any country in the world, but we want to come to negate the threat coming from anywhere in the world.
Yes.
That is the kind of capacity which we are developing, and the entire focus is shifting towards the indigenous industry. Defense forces earlier, which were focusing on a QR based procurement, where they were looking for ideal weapons, they have also modified their approach. They are focusing more on the cyclic mode of procurement,
Right.
where these weapons developed to 70 to 80%, they are adopted, feedback is given, and that is improved. So there is a total change the way we are going to make our defense forces totally Atmanirbhar, what nations need.
Absolutely. Like, while the threat lies at the true front war, like you told us, but at the same time, we are also looking at ensuring that there's greater security collaboration with various countries, besides focusing on making India self-reliant. In that context, it is expected that negotiations could begin on a security of information agreement, where classified information is going to be shared between EU and India. We have such arrangements already with countries like France and Germany. And we are also seeing the new US defense and security paper that has come out, where the focus is now less on China and Indo-Pacific and more on security of the Western Hemisphere. So in that context also, would you say that increasingly now the pillar of cooperation when it comes to Indo-Pacific security would be on, say, cooperation between India and a bloc like EU more than between India and the United States, considering the recent shift in focus in the US paper?
Absolutely, Momo. This is a brilliant point you have articulated. While the current security strategy issued by United States focuses more on the Western Hemisphere, and not only less on China, but it also focuses less on India. In fact, one of the reasons of many other regions from the US side of increasing relationships with India was that it was looking this relationship as a counter to China's influence in South China Sea, East China Sea, and otherwise its expansionist agenda. Once that threat, it has thought of being lesser and focusing more on the Western Hemisphere, naturally the dynamics have undergone a change. But the way the world is using the Indian Ocean region and the Indo-Pacific in the larger context, the more responsibility will come on India and European Union partners if China continues to maintain its aggressive posture an expansionist agenda in the South China Sea and being in a position to block the trade. But in case hope against hope, if China becomes more mature towards that, the Western century or the US-led century will turn to Asian century.
We leave it at that, Major. We are all standing by for the Republic Day parade now on Kartavya Path. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, General Ashok Kumar, for putting that into context for us. And we're going to take a short break now, and when we return, we'll go to the parade.
Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of nature in the forests.
स्वागत आहे टू मैग्नेटिक महाराष्ट्र.
Welcome back. You're watching a special broadcast on 77th Republic Day of India, and anytime now we expect the main Republic Day parade at Kartavya Path in New Delhi to begin. But before that,